When Myles Turner left the Indiana Pacers in free agency, a lot of emotions were felt across the basketball world. For me, I was angry at the Pacers front office because I assumed we cheaped out again. For some Pacers fans, they blamed Myles straight off the bat. But as the past few months have unfolded, those opinions have changed and evolved outside of the Pacers fan base. I've seen a lot of people get the facts wrong on this whole situation, so I wanted to try and set things straight. Obviously, I am biased as a Pacers fan, but I'm not here to rant about Myles, and I'm not here to try and take digs at Bucks fans or Bucks players, or even necessarily at Myles himself. I'm going to try and stay factual and fair because I actually want to have my opinion heard by other fan bases, specifically the Milwaukee Bucks. I want them to actually watch this, that fan base to actually see this, and maybe try to understand what it's like to view this situation from a Pacers fan's point of view. So let's start off with why Myles said he left the Pacers in free agency. He felt as though the Pacers were lowballing him, saying the Pacers front office made a big deal of going into the luxury tax, but decided to change their direction after the Halliburton injury. He said that ownership made a decision and I had no choice but to roll with it, which is understandable. He took a team-friendly deal and was told that he would be taken care of later, just for the Pacers to lowball him in free agency. So why wouldn't he take the better deal? But things look a little different when you hear what Kevin Pritchard had to say on how the negotiations went down. Kevin Pritchard said that he was surprised to hear Myles was leaving. He thought they were going back and forth and negotiations were going well. There is even speculation that Myles Turner's agent never gave the Pacers a chance to match the Bucks' offer. Now, I'm not here to try and tell you what to believe because it's just one person's word against the other. I'm just telling you what the facts of the situation are from both parties. But the drama really started when Myles Turner arrived in Milwaukee. The big quote being, "I'm in a city now that wants to celebrate me." There's a great quote that says, "Go where you are celebrated." I feel like that's here. Myles would later say that this was directed at the Pacers front office and not the fans or the city. Whether you believe that to be true or not, he definitely could have worded that statement a lot better. When you say, "I'm in a city now that wants to celebrate me," that definitely sounds like you're taking a dig at the city that you used to play in, not necessarily the front office of the team you used to play for. If any player in all of sports said that after leaving a team, he would face the same backlash. It doesn't matter if we're talking baseball, football, hockey, it would have been the same effect. Now, he did say some other things that could be seen as backhanded towards Indy, but I kind of just see it as Myles being confident in himself and saying things that sound good and that people in Milwaukee want to hear. You go to a new city, you want to try to make a good first impression. So I understand why he was saying things like, "The grass is greener wherever I go." While that might come off as a dig at Indy, I think that's just him being confident and trying to say what people want to hear. However, that wasn't the end of it. On Thanasis Antetokounmpo's podcast, Myles called Tyrese Halliburton a fake tough guy. After the clip went viral, Myles went on to say that the clip was taken out of context, which I'll play it for you here.
Man, it's hard. He makes it hard on himself to root for him just because of the shit that he does at times. But as a competitor, bro, you got to respect the way he rocks. So.
Sure. I've always said, he's one of those guys, if he's, Joakim Noah was like this, Grayson Allen was like this, if he is on your team, you love him.
Right.
You love him.
Yeah.
That's
I got 100%. I agree 100%.
If he goes against your team, he could just look the wrong way at the camera and it irritates you.
Well,
yeah.
I can see that, bro. I just feel like, one, Tyrese also, he knows he's protected, too. So he can go out there, talk his shit, say whatever the hell he wants to do, and then, he knows he has backup at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
100%.
he's not going to be talking the same shit if you're in the middle of the street or whatever the fuck.
No.
Like, that's what guys are doing this league.
Yeah.
That is.
After hearing the whole thing, it definitely was taken out of context. It really just sounds like Myles was saying Tyrese does what all NBA stars do, where they talk a lot of crap on the court, and then off the court we're all friends. That's been a sentiment that's been shared across many decades of NBA players. So I don't think necessarily it was a dig at Tyrese. It was just a situation where he was talking, he was comfortable, and he said something without thinking it all the way through. Now fast forward to when the Pacers are going to play the Bucks in Indianapolis for their first matchup of the season. Pacers fans at this point have already said that they were going to boo Myles Turner. But Myles didn't expect that. He thought it was going to be a mix. And unfortunately, it wasn't. As the tribute video played for Myles, the boos came down. And then Myles, while he was on the bench watching the tribute video, actually did a closing the book motion and then winked and did whatever that was with his hands that he did. Again, not the best decision if you don't want fans to boo you. The Bucks would go on to win this game off a buzzer beater by Giannis, where he proceeded to thumbs down the crowd, and then later during the media time, chose to speak on the Myles Turner situation even more, which I have my own thoughts and opinions on.
I believe like being humble in victory. That's how I am. Now there can be a lot of people out there that are like, no, when you win the game, you gotta talk it, and you know it's a green light for you to be disrespectful towards somebody else. I disagree.
This season series goes to the Bucks and mocking the crowd for booing him.
But that's not what this video is about, so I'm not going to talk about it. Obviously, Myles was going to be asked about the boos. He had to address them. The media was going to ask him about it, so I don't blame him for talking about it. His response was mostly respectful and stuff that everyone could agree on. Nothing to really get that mad about. He ended it by saying, "I'll take it on the chin." So that's it. He literally did the book closing on the bench. He said he's going to take all criticism on the chin. That should be that, right? Well, unfortunately, that wasn't the end of it. The book was reopened on Myles Turner's Instagram story, where he posted an AI-generated picture of a wrecked Formula One car, which I'm assuming Myles thought was an Indy car. And in the background, it looks like it's supposed to be Indianapolis Motor Speedway. This story would be deleted, but the damage was already done. Sure, you can excuse it. We've all made bad social media decisions when dealing with an ex. In the heat of the moment, that's kind of what this is like. But when you say you're gonna take everything on the chin, that is not necessarily the next step that most people expect. But now, this should be the end of it, right? The Pacers-Bucks rivalry is alive and well, which is good for basketball. But now there should be no more comments to the media about the Pacers when the Pacers are not being talked about. There shouldn't be any unexpected comments by Myles, right? Now, that one is completely inexcusable. The Pacers were never even mentioned. The reporters asked what he thought of the Milwaukee Bucks court, nothing about the Pacers, and then he says that.
What did you think of that green court?
I'm not mad at it. It looks a lot better than yellow.
I know you can try to excuse it by saying a regular basketball court kind of has a yellow color to it, but let's be for real. We all know what he's talking about. And I just don't understand it. Pick if you want to be a villain or if you're a victim in this situation. You talk one day like you're going to take all the criticism and all the boos nobly, with your teammates coming to your aid and defending you in the media. How dare the Pacers fans boo the same guy who did all this for their franchise and all this and all that, and then you turn around and you make it worse again. Everything before this, while not smart, could still be excused. You could still defend it. Comments taken out of context or taken the wrong way, or just bad heat of the moment decisions. But this is now blatant disrespect towards the Pacers. And if you're sitting there saying, well, why should he care if he disrespects y'all? That's fine. But then why are the boos a big deal? If him disrespecting us isn't a big deal and he shouldn't care what we think, then why are the boos such a big deal to everybody? It works both ways. And for as much as Milwaukee Bucks fans don't like Tyrese Halliburton, imagine if after the Dame Time celebration and the multiple game winners, Tyrese went to the media and complained about Giannis celebrating his game winner and thumbs downing the Pacers fans. You would call him corny, or you'd call him a frontrunner, or you would call him a fake tough guy. That's pretty much what the Myles Turner situation is now to Pacers fans. But I also want to talk about when people say, the Pacers front office and fans put Myles in trade rumors, and then they lowballed him in free agency, so of course he's going to act like this. First, when did Kevin Pritchard come out and say they are shopping Myles Turner? Yes, some Pacers fans did put him in trade talks, but then you had a whole other half of the Pacers fan base saying he should be a lifetime Pacer. The people who mainly put Myles Turner in trade talks were the media and fans of other teams. Bleacher Report and ESPN were putting him in terrible trade packages every single year. And then fans of teams like the Lakers were co-signing it. The most the Pacers ever did was try to sign DeAndre Ayton, which was in the summer of 2022 when Myles was going into the first year of his new contract extension. And if that situation really did rub Myles the wrong way, and he left because he was tired of all the trade rumors and stuff, more people in Indy would understand that. It doesn't make much sense because the rumors finally started to go away this year, and if he stayed after this year, the rumors would have probably been non-existent. But if that's what he wanted because he felt dissed, it's a business. He had the right to do that. But what made people mad was the things he said afterwards. If you take everything that he said and did after signing with the Bucks away, this whole situation goes away too. As far as Myles saying that he took pay cuts, he technically did, but his first contract extension with the Pacers was $80 million over 4 years. A pretty solid contract considering this was before he experienced his breakthrough on the offensive side of the ball. Then he got his 2-year $40 million extension, which was more team-friendly. Still making $40 million plus incentives and endorsements, but it is team-friendly when you look at the market. In total, when playing with the Pacers, Myles made $138 million. I'm not trying to be the guy who sees an athlete make like $5 million and then say that he should be set for life. But what I am saying is Myles was not extremely underpaid by the Pacers. He made a good chunk of money while suiting up for the blue and gold. But really to cap this off, I just want to say, I have defended Myles Turner since people were saying we should start Domantas Sabonis over him in 2017. At the time, I was in 6th grade. Even now, in this video, I defend the stuff he has said against the Pacers. And I'm a sophomore in college. I still defend when people bring up how Myles underperformed in the finals because he was a huge reason we got there in the first place. I could defend everything he did up to when he posted that Instagram story. That is the point where I started to think I couldn't really defend Myles Turner anymore. But I understand why other Pacers fans were upset with him earlier in this situation. People trash our city all the time. And with how Paul George and Victor Oladipo acted, I see why people would be quick to think Myles Turner was talking down on his former organization and city. That mixed with the information coming out that Myles potentially took the Bucks contract without allowing the Pacers to match, if any fan base was in that situation, they would react the same way. Saying ownership made a decision and you had to roll with it, but it turns out you didn't actually need to, will always draw some scrutiny because now it just sounds like you're lying to make yourself seem like the victim. But I'm sure this whole situation is going to play out similar to other players who had controversy with their former team. After a while, people forgave Ron Artest, and then they forgave Paul George, and now they're starting to forgive Victor Oladipo. So when Myles Turner retires and comes back to Indy, I'm sure he's going to be welcomed with a courtside seat and cheers. As long as he doesn't keep going. So hopefully he realizes that this is a losing battle for everyone involved, and the random digs stop. Either the book is closed or it's not. Either you're the villain of this story or you're the victim. Stop hanging in the middle and just pick a lane.
Hey guys, welcome to the Indianapolis Museum of the Zoos. Oh fuck, I fucked up. Restart. Today, I'm in the monkey exhibit featuring Kato. If you point over here, we have ostriches, wildebeest, and kudu. Now, what you fail to realize here, it's how fucking useless these ostrich are. Thank you for your time.